Hello, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? Can you all hear me? I hope you all can hear me. Hope everyone is. Hope I'm loud and clear for you. Hope I'm loud and clear for you. Of course. Thank you so much for joining me today, guys. You absolute legends, guys. I am obviously at a new location. Let me just start this up real quickly for you guys, if I can possibly do that. Let's have a look at this. You know what? This is live television. This is live television at the end of the day. This is how we do things, guys. Non-stop for me, of course. Non-stop for me, of course, guys. Let me just do this. Thank you so much, everyone who's joined me today. Thank you, everyone who's with me today. You absolute legends, guys. Thank you, Sanjay. Big up, Sanjay, of course, in the house, of course, guys. Every one of you. Let me just sort this out real quickly. So let me just do this for you guys. 1 second. We are here live, of course, in the flesh, of course, guys. There we go. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm Sal Walnut. This is Breaking Dawn. Thank you, everyone, guys. Thank you for watching today, of course, guys. Little short show today. I'm out and about, of course, today, but obviously we are talking about the news that Giovan Quenda, of course, who was supposed to sign for Manchester United, will be signing for Chelsea, which is, for me, it's bad news. It's bad news because we need that position. We're desperate for that position. And unfortunately, we've missed out. We missed the boat on this one. And it's not the first time. We're going to have to get used to this. Obviously, with Ineos in charge, etc., we're going to miss out on some targets. We're going to have bad news. We're going to see, players that we want not coming to Man United, basically, and we're not the team that we were anymore. Of course, guys. Let me just read some of your comments. We're not the team that we once were in regards to that. So, I would say that Giovan Quenda definitely would have came to Man United if we had the money available, of course, guys. I don't think we had the money available. If you ask me, I don't think we had the money available. I don't think we did. But unfortunately, with Chelsea, they did. And with Chelsea, they're not strangers to stealing targets. They've stolen many of our targets in the past. We all remember when, do you remember Obi Mikel? Was it Obi Mikel who actually held up the Man United jersey, and still didn't sign for Man United? He was actually there. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Pearl, what's going on? Apparently, Quenda doesn't want to be a specialist wing back, but an outright winger. Nah, it's all hearsay, Pearl. The fact is, Chelsea offered 70 million. That is all what happens. Quenda's perfectly happy. His whole career is played wing back or winger. And basically, in Ruben Amorim's system, you're a winger. You're a winger because you don't need to really defend much, do you? But you know what? What I would say in regards to that is that, you know what, we have alternatives. We have alternatives. There are other players that we could get. It's not just that, of course, guys. There are other players that we can get, and it's not just Quenda and it's the end of the world. We can't get Quenda. That's it. It's over. Blah blah blah. You know what I mean? We can get other players as well. Big up, Pearl, though. Big up yourself. Hope you're doing well. Big up, Tybor. What's going on? What a background. So, are they making a new episode of Star Wars? Do you know this, right? This is actually Abu Dhabi, but this is actually one of the Manchester City, used to be one of the Manchester City headquarters. Did you know that? Absolutely, used to be. It's not anymore. It's not anymore. I wouldn't be sitting here otherwise, probably. Yeah, definitely would have been. Absolutely. Good morning, Kenny. What's going on? Good morning, Sal. I wasn't fussed about the Quenda news, to be fair. We have a wing-back options in the transfer market. Got to get used to the penny pinching from the... Yeah, this is the reality we have to live, isn't it, Kenny? At the end of the day, we have to live this reality. Unfortunately, we don't want to live this reality, but you know what? We've got what we got now. And unfortunately, some people got what they wanted, and we can't complain now, can we? We can't start going and moaning now, because at the end of the day, what I would say is that, these guys are penny pinchers. This is what they do. This is how they are at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And they don't spend money, and unfortunately, we're stuck with them for the time being. Of course, guys, absolutely, we're stuck with them. And sadly, we did fight for something else. We did fight for a full sale. Unfortunately, we didn't get it. And obviously, Ineos are on fraud watch. They will be on fraud watch, of course. I'm not going to even turn away from that. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to flip flop. I'm not going to get overzealous. I'm seeing some people getting so overly excited about Ineos for some strange reason. Maybe it's to save face. I don't know, but you know what? They're getting like overly giddy for no reason at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Al Mac, what's going on, my friend? What we do now? I see a lot of copying by fans, people who pretending he isn't good just because Chelsea signed him. He is the same player we want. No, he's a good player, Al Mac. I'm not gonna flip flop from that. Absolutely not. I'm definitely not going to flip flop from that. He's a good player, and he would have fitted Ruben Amorim's system perfectly. But what I would say is that it is what it is. We've missed out on the target, so we have to look at elsewhere. We have to look at other targets at the moment because we wanted the player, but we couldn't get the player, and we couldn't afford it. Chelsea have slapped down 70 million. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? They slapped down 70 million. We couldn't do it. We can't afford 2 million at the moment. You know what I mean? We're penny pinching with 40 grand. Do you know what I'm saying at the moment? So it's bad. It's sad as well. It's really sad. But you know what? It is what it is with Man United at the moment. And, for me, you know what? We missed out on a very good target and we can't sugarcoat that into something. You know what I mean? Because I know that. People know me, been watching this show, know that I like the player. Yeah. Excuse me, guys. Sorry, guys. I just got a bit of a tap there. Listen, big ginormous bumblebee come in my face. Absolutely, we don't want that, do we? At the end of the day, let me move on. Yeah, we don't want none of that. Whoa. Absolutely not. There's quite a few of them, to be honest with you. There's quite a few of them. Absolutely. Bloody hell. It's a big bumblebee, Kenny. A big one. Flipping hell, mate. Like, I've been absolutely swarmed by them. Absolutely. Flipping hell. That was a big one. It almost went in my mouth. That's Jim Ratcliffe there. He's setting the bees on me. He's setting the bees on me. Jim Ratcliffe setting the bees on me. I have to move on. Because otherwise I'm going to get attacked. I'm going to get attacked absolutely by a swarm of bees. A swarm of bees, absolutely. I don't know where to go, though, to be honest with you. I don't know where to go. Should I go over there? Should I go? Absolutely. Oh, I'm going to cope, guys. You know what? For the bees, I'll do it. Even when the bees are attacking me, I'll do it. Absolutely. Let me move on. Let me move on. 1 second. Yeah. Absolutely. One sec. Look, you know what, guys, listen. The insect situation's good, but I'm sitting on a yellow table, guys. I'm sitting on a yellow table, and to be honest with you, they think I'm a big flower. They think I'm just a ginormous flower at the end of the day. Yeah, there's hornets. They're hornets, mate. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and move if I can, possibly, because I don't like hornets and I don't want to be I don't want to be in my bonnet, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? So I'm going to try and move. Bear with me a second. Yeah, I'm going to try and move away from here, guys. I'm going to move away from here. There's so many of them. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. You know what I mean? But that is it. You know what? We're going to miss out on targets. And as I've said, there's targets that we wanted that we're going to miss out on. And we're going to have to face reality, and we're going to have to get used to this. Do you know what I mean? We're definitely going to have to get used to this. Sad as it is, of course, guys. Sad as it is, but it is what it is at the end of the day. And to be honest with you, I'm a bit pissed off with it, to be honest with you. Not only the bees. I almost had a bee in my mouth, guys, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? This is live television at the end of the day, you know? I got attacked by a swarm of hornets, mate. They don't like me. Jim Ratcliffe Hornets, Ineos Hornets. Let me, you know what I mean? Don't want to be getting attacked by any hornets, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah. That is dramas today on Stretford Post. Of course, guys. But you know what? As soon as I start speaking about Ineos, I'm being attacked. Maybe it's that thing at the back, the big what's it called? Dramas. Here we go. Yeah, I think this should be better. That's better, guys. That's better. I'm back. Live in the flesh, guys. Live in the flesh. Absolutely. Let me see what you're saying. Sorry, I'm getting too close to the camera. That's scary. Cyborg, if a player doesn't want to come for us, the reason we should just move on and look somewhere else. There are the good players out there, great players, but hundreds of others out there. Absolutely. I'm going to get into that very quickly, Cyborg. I've got a number of targets that could be alternative. I want to know what your feelings are on it. I want to know what your feelings are with those targets. If you know, of course. Because you know what, there are a number of targets. Tybal's absolutely spot on. There are a number of targets that we could be going after, you know, of course. And yeah, before I got tapped by a swarm of bees, I was talking about obviously missing out on Quenda and getting a right wing back for Man United. Now, look, it's not all doom and gloom. I know some people set their hearts on one player, but you know what? The problem is that we're having at the moment is that we don't trust Ineos. We don't trust Ineos. Bloody hell. These bees are ruthless, bruv. These bees are ruthless. They're chasing me, bruv. You know what I mean? I don't know what to do. I don't know. Maybe it's the radio frequencies and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, so Kenny. He is a good player. That's the reality of penny pinching right now. Absolutely. Don't get players who don't want to be here. Good point, Stanley. That's also a good point, of course. Of course, guys. A very good point. Who attacked you? Bees, or hornets. One of the two. Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the two that they attacked me today. Great backdrop. Thank you so much, GK. Big up yourself, of course. So Jim attacks us out. Yeah, he's a small little. He's a hornet. He's a small little hornet, of course. And he tried to attack me, but I'm brave. You know what I mean? I'm brave. I don't run from no bee. I don't run from that. Well, I did. You know what I mean? You got me there. Absolutely. Bees are Ineos in disguise. Absolutely. Bloody hell. No, there's not really much of a problem over here. This is the first time I've had a problem with hornets. Strange enough. At the end of the day, but you know what? I don't like being attacked by them. One almost went in my mouth. So yeah, didn't want that to happen, of course. Big up everyone, of course. Big up. As a side issue, what insect situation like in the minute? Are there hornets there? Yeah, there's hornets, but not many, Almac. It's not that bad. Just today, it's a bit of a myth. Hi Sal, what do you think to say about Solomana? Sorry, good winger, mate. Good winger. Man United are interested in that player, of course. Man United are interested in those type of players, of course, including Solomana. You know, don't be surprised if there's going to be a number of names that are going to be mentioned this summer, of course. Don't be surprised if there's going to be a number of names that are going to be mentioned. There will be, of course, guys. So, yeah, there's going to be spin as well. We have to be careful and we have to be wary of spin because Ineos are going to spin as much as they can. They'll be like Carly Minogue spinning around at the end of the day. That's what they're going to do at the end of the day. There's going to be a lot of spin, but it's up to us not to fall for it, of course, guys. Not to fall for it. We can't be falling for the old trick, of course, guys. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, of course, guys. Big up Revert 7. What's going on? Wow, look at the sun. I'm jealous. I'm grey in overcast London. I miss London, to be honest, Revert 7. If I'm being honest with you, I've had 3 years of sun over here. I wouldn't mind a bit of some rain. But you know, it's just the way it is at the end of the day. It's just the way it is. You know, I have to cope. Sorry, it's a hard life. Some of us. Sorry, at the end of the day. Big up Revert 7, of course. Bumblebee or hornet? Bumblebees are friendly. Bumblebees are friendly, but Almac, I'm not a bee expert. So this looked like a hornet or a bee. or two Hornets and a B in one. It was like, it was big, but it went for my mouth. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I let them fly around, but that actually went for my mouth, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? I can't have a hornet in my mouth. You know what I mean? It was just a bit crazy, to be fair. And yeah, but I survived. So Sal, survivor, guys. We're survivor. We survive you know what I mean? In bad conditions, guys. In bad conditions, in bees and everything like that. Absolutely. Good morning, by the way. Good morning, Revert7. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you, of course. Steve, what's going on? Hi, Sal. Good morning. Maybe the green in your t-shirt is attracting them. I told my wife I don't want to wear this t-shirt, right? But you're absolutely spot on. That is actually a good point, because at the end of the day, I told them that I didn't want to wear this t-shirt because I'm going to be attracted by these. Unless I take off my t-shirt. I can't take off my t-shirt live on stream, can I? I am next to a pool. I am in the swimming area, of course. How they found you, mate? You are camouflaged. I know. They probably think I'm a big plant, mate. They probably think I'm a big, massive plant. That's what they probably think. And obviously, I look very tasty to them. So yeah, unfortunately, it is what it is. You know what I mean? It's not my fault. Okay. Those bees look massive. They are massive, mate. They're as big as my head. Flipping hell. They're like this, bruv. They're like this, mate. Listen, I'm from London. Our bees are like this. These ones as big as my head. They'll snap my head off. They'll break my neck, give me a headlock, and then sting me. I mean, that's what happened. You know what I mean? Bloody hell. Absolutely. Guys, I want to get into some of the quotes from Ruben Amorim, if you don't mind. If I get into this real quickly. Yeah, so, because Ruben Amorim was speaking to the media yesterday. Of course, Ruben Amorim does a lot of media work, of course, guys, which is absolutely... I think he should do less, in my opinion. I really do. I think he should do less interviews with the media and stuff like that, of course, guys. But it is what it is. He's a very friendly guy in regards to Ruben Amorim. And look, guys, it's been a good week. Let's be honest. It's been a good week. Man United are through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and I'm still seeing a lot of negativity and things like that. You know what I mean? And I feel sorry for what Ruben Amorim at the moment. What's going on? You know what I mean? Even some of the fan base, they're so pessimistic and miserable and anti Ruben Amorim, and that's what drives me mad, to be honest with you. At the end of the day, now, guys, Now, I want to bring in some, of course, quotes from Ruben Amorim. I'm going to bring that in a minute. Let me just load this up. I'm going to bring that in a minute, of course. But I'm also going to give you some transfers that Man United could be going for. Okay, so I'm going to do that in a bit. Let me just read this out real quickly. All right, let's have a look at this. Yeah. Yeah, today's show is a bit of a madness. It's about what we say is a bit of a mad thing at the end of the day. But you know what? I am here and I'm live, of course, guys. So if we go to some of the quotes from Ruben Amorim real quickly, if you don't mind, I'm going to read some out for you. Let me just get this up.
Thank you so much.
So I'm gonna bring that up real quickly. Let me just get some quotes up, of course. I'll just get my laptop going on. Really appreciate you though, guys. Thank you so much for being patient with me. They're absolutely nightmares today, isn't it? At the end of the day, absolute nightmares. At the end of the day, it's probably my aftershave. Big up. David, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Sal, it's your aftershave. The bee smells. Yeah, the bees like sweet aftershave. I can't say. At the end of the day, I can't. They love sweet after. I like sweet aftershave, but what can you do? So let's get into some of the quotes, of course, from Ruben Amorim, really, really quickly, of course, guys. My laptop is burning. Yeah, it's a bit of a mad one, to be honest. I agree. He does too much interviews. I remember once Jose said that he is not the manager. He was the CEO or DF owner because of no communications for the club owners. Absolutely. You know what? One thing I would say is that sometimes let me just get this up. Yeah, sometimes, you know what, you can get your assistant manager to do the interviews. You can get the assistant manager to do the interviews. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes it's better to do that. You don't need to go for the interviews all the time. It doesn't have to be you all the time. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. So let me get some of this in it. Of course, guys, let me just get this up. I'm going to be doing this freehand, of course, because I am absolute G. Absolutely, guys. So if we read some of the comments, of course, let me just get rid of that comment there. There we go. In regards to Aiden Heaven, he has a lot to work to do. Of course, he's still very young. Of course, if the Premier League in the Premier League, he will face a different type of player, and he's going to be tested a different way. Absolutely, we're trying to manage all of this because he's still young. Absolutely, and we have to be very, very careful when it comes to these players, of course, guys. We have to be very, very careful because at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of pressure on players like Aiden Heaven and stuff like that, of course, guys. So we have to be very careful that we don't put too much pressure on the player and we don't override him with responsibility because, you know, he is still young and he's done very well since he's come into the football club, since he's come into the team. Arsenal must be absolutely, you know, scratching their head as to how or why they let him go so cheaply for $1 million. So you know what, we have to keep grounded, but you know what, it's very, very, very exciting, of course, guys. It's very exciting that we have such a great young player like Aiden Heaven in the team, of course, guys. Absolutely. He said, everything is important and we need to continue with this feeling. We can win some games and games after games. It doesn't matter the type of rest or the time to prepare for the next game. We can do it, and we showed against Arsenal. Absolutely. I think Man United are in a really good vein of form at the moment. I think Man United are doing quite well in regards to form. I think we are. I think I'm very impressed with the way Man United are playing at the moment. I think we're starting to see the formation. We're starting to see things starting to come together. Do you know what I mean? Things are starting to come together now, and I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. Sorry to be overly zealous. I'm not really overly zealous, but I am very excited of what's going on at the moment, of course, at the club. Of course, I know what you mean. I know that in football, especially in our moment, we can have a really good moment and then drop really fast. So our focus to continue. Don't be too happy, too depressed. So my idea is to continue. We have to survive. Absolutely. And this is what I've been talking about a long time, guys, about don't be overly critical. Don't be over the top with anything. Don't be over the top with praise. Don't be over the top with criticism. You know what I mean? There's always, you know, you can't just be so doom and gloom all the time at the end of the day. That, at the end of the day, we have to have a balance here. It's like people who believe in Ineos. It's like people who believe in Ineos and they're too overly zealous. They're too excited and stuff like that for no reason, to be honest with you guys, for no reason. Absolutely. He did go on to say to continue with this feeling that we can win games. Yeah, I think I read that one. Absolutely. He said, I think that is clear. It's a lot of Amorim on the system, by the way. I think that it is clear because it's a lot of duels. It's Man United, basically, especially where the ball is. It's man to man. So it's going to be so physical. It's a different game, and we have to use different positions and different tools to win the game. Absolutely. So basically, the formation is very versatile. So what he's basically saying is that certain teams it will fit, certain teams it won't fit. We might have to alter the formation sometimes. And this contradicts what people have been saying, that, you know what, he's one-dimensional. He doesn't know. He doesn't change his system. He does. He does it every game. He does it every game, of course. Of course, guys. We are giving more time to the team to win or draw games. We are not suffering one goal and losing our minds and suffering another goal. We are understanding the moments of the game and also understand the better way to play. Look, guys, as things are going on, things are starting to get better. And as time will pass, we will start seeing the formation and the fruits of our labor, basically. And I think that we're seeing that. We saw that against Real Sociedad. Yes, we had a little bit of fortune, of course. The only concern I have is how Man United start games. Man United don't start nowhere near quick enough. We're too slow. We're too sluggish. And to be honest with you, we need to start games quicker on the front foot because it will set us up for the rest of the game, in my opinion. When you play for this team, you have to be prepared for the critics and understand that former players had a lot of success here. The standards for the time were so high. They are things like that sometimes in black are not black and white. Basically, life sometimes is not black and white. There are some other colors, and you have to understand the context. I absolutely understand this. I understand that. Context is everything. Look, when we think about someone like Roy Keane played at a time in 1990s where he had a winners around him, right? He also had Alex Ferguson. Things were a lot different, and that team was years in the making. You know, so that is the context. At the moment, players are coming into an environment that is completely different to now. You know what I mean? To then, basically, because we didn't have the Glazers then, we didn't have Jim Ratcliffe then. You know, we win in titles and stuff like that. So it's pretty easy for any player to come into the team and slot in. Context is very important. And that's what people don't understand. Even in regards to Ruben Amorim, people are not understanding context. It's like people who compare Garnacho to Lamine Yamal. You know, context here. Context. You got to look at things. Things are different. You know what I mean? People just deal in absolutes. You know what I mean? That's what they do. And they just think this is that and that compares to that. Man United, like yesterday, I was talking to someone and someone's Sniperman. He said, talking about how Leon beat Athletic Bilbao. So Leon are going to beat Man United. But at the end of the day, we beat Arsenal. So doesn't that mean we should be in the quarterfinal of the Champions League? It's just silliness at the end of the day, all these comparisons and stuff like that. Of course. With different competitions, we have to rotate. We are risking a little bit. Some players, for example, Casemiro was so tired, we didn't want to risk Ugarte because it was a decision in one competition and Ugarte wanted to stay here. Yeah, Ugarte, of course, at the end of the day, and Ugarte wanted to stay here. In regards to selection and rotation, So, we're going to have to be careful in regards to players. We're going to have to rotate. There's going to be a lot of games coming up. The great thing about being in the Europa League now is that, you know what, we can rest in the Premier League. We can rest players and we can try new players. Don't be surprised if tomorrow you might see some players that we haven't seen before, of course, guys. Absolutely. Definitely. I already said I really love Mason Mount because I see him. I know how he suffers. I know he does everything right. He eats right. His physical aspect is perfect. Yeah, but as we said many, many times, guys, that the best form of ability is availability. And unfortunately, he hasn't been available nowhere near enough, of course, guys, in regards to everything. Of course, guys. Wow, my phone has just turned off. Yeah, so nowhere near, he's not been available nowhere near enough, guys. So that's what I would say in regards to that. And finally, in regards, he was the European champion. He's a talent and he's really talented player. When a player does everything like that, he always have the support of everybody here in the club. Absolutely. Everyone knows he's a good player. Everyone knows that Mason Mount is a good player. We're not denying that Mason Mount is a good player. But the thing is that he's just never available. He's never available, to be honest with you. And we need players to be available. You know, I mean, him coming to the team is a blessing. It's a blessing. Whether you rate him or not, we need him at the end of the day. Absolutely, we do need him. Okay, let's get into some goals for George. What's going on? I'm surprised that 8 Heaven looks very close to Euro based on performance. Of course, let me just get myself back up here. Yeah, based on performance, considering the experience Euro had at Lille. Perhaps the injury has really messed Euro up because he does a bit. I mean, we don't want that, isn't it? At the end of the day, goals for George. Big up, goals, George. How are you doing? I mean, I hope so. Fingers crossed, because we've had so much bad luck with injuries. It's been unbelievable. We've had bad luck with injuries. And to be honest with you, I hope it's not as serious because, you know, once players start getting, a bit like Licha Martinez, isn't it? Once you start getting those injuries and you start picking up those injuries, it starts becoming a bit treacherous and stuff. Absolutely. What's the point of 3 giant pillars in the stadium proposal? Basically represents the Trinity. The Trinity basically represents the Trinity of Man United. So the 3: George Best, Bobby Charlton, and Dennis Law. So basically the three Trinity. That's what it basically means. And if you look at it from above, it looks like the devil thought something like that. Of course, absolutely. It was heartening to see how Heaven and Dorgu were quickly off the block, and that is the mark of a great player. For me, that's a mark of a great player. When it's a great player, they settle in quickly. You know, great players do. Some players don't, but some. Morning, Baz. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Some players do. Cyborg, I prefer not overpaying for let the players go elsewhere and enough. Yeah, I think I read that one absolutely spot on, Cyborg. we can't spend 70 million on one player, especially a player that is unproven in the Premier League. We can't do that. That's absolutely correct. We can't be overpaying on players. Absolutely not. Of course, guys. Let me just read. Tyborg again. Not defending Ineos, no way. But I am happy they are making a different transfer strategy. What we had before, obviously not functioning. 70 million is too much, no matter how good players. Tyborg, I agree with that, bro. At the end of the day, you're absolutely right because look, we got a lot of positions in that team that need to be filled. You know, we can't be buying 17-year-olds for 70 million anymore. That's not how it works. Man United need to be clever. You know, as we were talking about Roger Fernandez, I'm going to bring in Roger Fernandez in a minute. In regards to players like that, we need to look at players like that who will cost a fraction of the price that obviously Quenda would cost. We can't be foolish anymore. We've done that. We've been down that road before, and we can't be foolish anymore. We have to be smart with our money because we got hardly no money to spend, of course, guys. Absolutely. Big up Ricardo Diaz. What's going on? Quenda away off Australia. Big up, guys. You let Quenda away. It is what it is at the end of the day. It is what it is, Ricardo. Hope you're doing well. It is what it is. We have to take it. We have to suffer, and we have to, you know, at the end of the day. And it is what it is, to be honest with you guys. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to get into this in regards to some players that Man United can alternatively go for. And people who know me, they know what I mentioned, obviously, some players before it started becoming popular, of course, guys. That's what I did. Of course, guys, I mentioned some players before. Let me just read this. Recruitment should not be paying more than 10 million for young defenders. There are talented defenders all over the world, only scouts. Absolutely agree with that, Costa George. I absolutely agree. At the end of the day, you're spot on. And I would say that, you know what, we shouldn't be paying too much for youngsters. We shouldn't be. Look, I told you about, obviously, Roger Fernandez last week. Roger Fernandez is 15 million euros. Do you know what I mean? Probably just as good. So apparently, right wing back is not a top priority for Man United. Are they mad? They would be very, very mad if that is the case, because I do believe it is a high priority for Man United. I've heard it is a high priority. So if we go into some players then, I'm going to bring in, so firstly, there's a guy named this player, Malik Fofana. Now, Malik Fofana, of course, is a 19-year-old right back who plays for left winger, stroke right winger, can play full back as well and wing back, who plays for Lyon. Now, Man United are going to come face-to-face with Malik Fofana coming up very, very soon, guys. So Malik Fofana is one player that Man United are looking at. Man United have them on the radar, of course, guys. So the thing with Malik Fofana, you know, he is quite new on the block. He's quite a new player, of course, guys. And he can, but the plus for him is that he can play in various positions, of course, which is very, very good. And what Man United are looking at the moment is players like Malik Fofana. So Malik Fofana is one player that Man United are looking at. And I'm going to show you that there are many players out there, not just in Europe, but around the world as well. Let's not forget we got Diego Leon coming in as well. Another player is Rodrigo Mora. Rodrigo Mora plays for Porto, another player that Man United are interested in. Now, this guy is obviously a very, very young player, only 17 years old, but he would only fetch around 20 million euros. He won't be that much. And this is what Man United need to look at. Man United need to look at players that are not going to cost an arm and a leg and are actually going to, you know what, help us in regards to building a team rather than being overly eccentric in spending money. Because Rodrigo Mora is a very good player. Man United obviously know about him from earlier this season when we played Porto, of course. So it is one player that, you know what, we could be looking at. Obviously, Ricardo, you know all about Rodrigo Mora, probably another one. A lot of Portuguese players. Of course, there's going to be a lot of Portuguese players coming up, of course. Roger Fernandez of Braga. Of course, I mentioned Roger Fernandez last week. Of course, guys, I've mentioned him quite a lot. He's a player that Man United are very, very interested in, guys. A very interesting player going forward. 19 years old, very talented, right winger, left winger. Great player, of course, guys. And he would only fetch around 15 million euros, guys. 15 million euros. So to be honest with you, you know what? I would much prefer us go for this type of player, to be honest with you. I would, rather than spending 70 million. And you look at Quenda at the moment, and you see Quenda and you think, Quenda costs 70 million. They've got Gusto and they've got Reece James as the right wing back positions. Why are they signing Quenda? It's just so that Man United don't sign him. It's pathetic. And obviously, the famous one is Jerome Frimpong. The problem with Jerome Frimpong, of course, we all know how good Jerome Frimpong is, of course, but especially in a wing-back position, we all know how good he is. But Jerome Frimpong is going to cost a little bit more money. In fact, a lot more money. He's also a little bit more older. He's 24 years old. So if Man United were going to go for spend 70 million, if Man United were going to spend 70 million, this is the guy you go for. This is the guy you go for, not Quenda. You go for someone like Jeremy Frimpong, who has won the title with Bayer Leverkusen, of course, stopped the monopoly of Bayern Munich winning every single title every single year. One of the great players in Europe, of course, is Jerome Frimpong. Look, if you're going to spend 70 million, you know what I mean? I much prefer Jerome Frimpong than Quenda, in my opinion, of course. Now, it's also important that Man United look after the youth. Okay, Man United need to look after the youth. Man United need to look out for what's coming through. Bendito Mantato is someone that is coming through the ranks at Manchester United, and he can play winger, he can play wing back. He's a very, very similar player to Quenda. Now, he's only 17 years old as well. He's winning all in front of him in the youth system, of course, the under-19s and stuff. He's doing everything he possibly can. And he is one of the next players coming through. It's very important that Man United look at our young players and don't neglect our young players. That is so important because, you know what? Who knows how good these players can be? You know what I mean? Look, think about it. Who knows how good these players can be? We've already got Scallion coming through. We've already got Collier coming through. We've already got Ahmed coming through. We've got Garnacho. We've got Mainu. And you know what? Most of our players are good enough. They are good enough. And we have to believe in our youth as well. Youth, courage and success at Man United is also very important. And it's something that we can't forget about. Absolutely not. And we have to look at the players that we have, of course, guys, as well. Let me get my big old face back. Of course, there we go. Okay, yeah, so there we go. Let's go through some of your comments, what I've missed. Cyborg, Rodrigo Mora, born 2007. I feel extremely old now. Cyborg, I feel extremely old as well, mate. I know how you feel, brother. I know how you feel. 2007 doesn't seem like a long time for me. I remember 2007 very well. Man United were very good. You know what I mean? And we were challenging for Champions Leagues and stuff like that. I was at Old Trafford that time. You know what it is. Time is flying. Some people say days are getting quicker. I don't know. Do you think days are getting quicker? It just feels that way, doesn't it, at the end of the day? Shah, what sort of winger or wing back is Rodrigo Fernandez? Does he fit the Amorim plays because plays with the wingers? Yes, he's perfect. He's perfect. Roger Fernandez is perfect for Amorim's system. If you look at Dorgu, think about Dorgu and think about the right side. It will add so much balance to our team. It'll be unreal. You know what I mean? But let's also not forget about Diego Leon. Now, Diego Leon's an interesting one because Diego Leon can play in the left wing back. He's a left wing back, which means that Dorgu can move to right wing back. We don't want Dorgu to move to right wing back, but we do need as many wingers as we put wing backs as we possibly can have because obviously the formation requires two. So Roger Fernandez can play left wing back as well, can play right wing back as well. So you know what? He's an energetic, quick, pacey player, a bit like Dorgu, but on the right side. And the great thing about Roger Fernandez is that he can cross, he can assist, and he's the future, guys. He's the future, of course. Goals for George. If I was a footballer named Fofana, I would go to court and change the name as it is becoming confusing now. I know more about 10 Fofanas now. That's true. It's like Diaz, isn't it? It's like Lopez. It's like that, isn't it, at the end of the day? It was like an English name like Smith or David, or you know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's like Jonathan David, isn't it? Eka Davids and Jonathan Davids. And, you know, there's quite a few Davids out there as well. So that is thing. That's a good point, you know what I mean, Goals for George, at the end of the day. Fofana, it's a nice name, though. It is a nice name. It's better than my name. You know what I mean? Big respect to my name, though. Big respect to my family and everything, by the way, in case. Steve, one last thing, Sal. Would any of these players we've bought be eligible to play in African nations if they play well? It worries me. Steve, you know, back in the day, people used to ask me, why didn't Man United sign any African players? And this was exactly the reason. I only can think of a handful of players, African players that Man United signed. Of course, there was obviously Jemba, of course. Jemba was one of those players who came to Man United. Of course, I mean, there was a Manucho who came to Man United as well. there wasn't many African players who came to Man United because of this African nations. And I respect the African nations. I think the African nations is a serious tournament, and it represents the top continent of Africa. But that is obviously a concern for the league football teams. It is the teams that own them. You know, it is a concern, and I feel like this will be a concern going forward. But you cross that path, you cross that bridge when it happens, don't you? You cross that bridge when it happens. When it happens, then we'll start to worry about that, of course, guys. Absolutely. My phone is too hot. My phone is too hot. Can you imagine my phone switched off because it's too hot? All right, guys. Let me just put this in there. Yeah, hopefully this one doesn't switch off. I've got two phones here. Hopefully this one doesn't switch off. Ricardo Diaz. Roger is an Ahmed with more goals and more vertical. A good player. Mora is expensive. Good point. Ricardo, good point. Shah Alam. I'd spend 58 million on Gutierrez, and Quenda is out of the books. Absolutely. 58 million for Gutierrez. Man United sort of ruled him out, haven't they? Because of the age. Ridiculous, isn't it? Mantato, yes. When Ruben Amorim went to United, I saw the kid from the academy, Fletcher and Mantato, stuck in my head. Mantata is a great player, and this is something that we have to remember as United fans. Like, we have to remember that we've got this great conveyor belt of young players coming through. We have to support these players, because who knows how good they could be. They could be just as good as Roger Fernandez. They could be just as good as Giovan Quenda. Who knows? We just have to give them an opportunity, don't we? That's what Portugal do. That's what they do. They give these players chances. They take a risk, and they give them chances, of course. Almac, are you sure Quenda is worth 70? The papers of Chelsea play 50 million. It's going to come all together to 75 million. What I'm hearing, Almac, which is too much for me. I don't think any player of that age is worth that much. I don't. I think the success of Sporting Lisbon was down to Ruben Amorim and a collective, in my opinion, a collective squad. He's a great player. I'm not saying that. I'm not sugarcoating it that we lost out to him. But I think that it is too much to pay for a player of that age, of course, guys. Absolutely. I thought Amorim plays left-footed. Yeah, he does. He does. Roger Fernandez, I believe, is right-footed. He's left-footed. He can play on the right, but he can also play on the left. The great thing about Ruben Amorim is he's very versatile. So we can play inverted and we can play natural. If you watch the game against Real Sociedad, if you see Dorgu, he played on the right and he played on the left. If you look at the game, so we do. He wants players that can rotate and swap and transcend in the game, which confuses opposition, which is good, of course. Of course, guys. Big up SLD, what's going on? Absolutely. Woo, Celebrity Sale, weather looking good. Thank you so much, man. I've been attacked by bees. You've missed it today. It's absolute classic. Yeah, I've been attacked by bees today. So you know what? Hopefully I ain't got a bunch on my back. Good morning, Roy Mike. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Should build a quality team around Bruno. Your thoughts? Thank you so much, Roy Michael. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that Bruno deserves a title. I don't know about you. I think he deserves a title, and I would love to see Bruno win the title. I would. He works very hard, always available. And I have a huge amount of respect for Bruno, absolutely immense amount of respect for Bruno myself. And I think that we need to keep him as the linchpin, keep him as the experience, because you can't just have a bunch of young players. You need a few players in there that, you know what, know the club and been there a long time and you know what, can pull the club through sometimes. I really hope that we win the Europa League for Bruno Fernandes and obviously Ruben Amorim. He deserves it, of course. Big up SLD, by the way. Quinton Fortune, that's one. Yeah, South African. I met him in London on an elevator, believe it or not. He was going down, I was going up. I ran down and I got to meet him, thankfully. Of course, 51 million more fees and possible bonus. But the best thing is Sporting keeps him on loan for next season. There you go. They played him. They played him. I remember Sir Alex once said he's not buying too many African players because they leave for African Cup mid-season. Yeah, that's the reason. That was Alex Ferguson's reason. I mean, that's his reason for it. And people may argue about that. People may think that is, you know, I mean, out of order and stuff. But you can't blame him. At the end of the day, we were fighting for titles and stuff like that. You know what I mean? We were fighting for titles and we were fighting for championships and stuff. So we needed our squad. We needed everyone available, of course, guys. Absolutely. Shah. Now, see the same people on social media were hyping Quenda are now hoping he fails at Chelsea because he joined Chelsea and now hipster putting up clips of Fernandes and Mantato. Look, Shah, look, Quenda is not the only right wing back in world football. You know, we have to understand that. I like Quenda, and I think Quenda's a fantastic player. We missed out on Quenda, but we have to move on. Mantato is a great player in our squad, a young player, but he's nowhere near the finished article. We have to remember that. We have to respect our young players. We always have to do that at Man United, and not just be like, you know what, get excited because it's a shiny new toy. I wish Quenda the best of luck. We've missed out on him, but it's important that Man United move on from this. We don't use it as tool to beat Quenda with. At the end of the day, we need to look at ourselves, and what we need to do is go out there and find another alternative. Okay, and there will be alternatives. There's players all around the world, as I've been mentioning, in Brazil, in Argentina. There's great wing backs. There's great players in there for more of affordable prices as well. So we can get these players going forward as well, guys. So you know, we don't have to just put our eggs in one basket, so to speak. You know, we can get other players as well. That's important. You know, we can't be spending 70 million. Man United can't spend. Even if Man United had the money, I'd be a bit like, why are we spending 70 million on one player? Exactly. Yes, exactly, Ricardo. He is a left foot, my friend. He is. He's an inverted winger, of course, but can play on the left, can play on the right, of course, guys. If we only spending big on one player, I would prioritize Edison. I would be fine with Jonathan David for a free on an expensive midfielder. Yeah, I agree with that. Almac, if people thought like you, if Carlsberg, as they say, made football transfers, you know what I mean, Almac, you'll be in charge, my friend. Absolutely. You'll be in charge. Guys, I want to thank everyone for joining me. I'm going to finish a little bit early today because obviously I've had a bit of a dramas today, of course, with the bees and the wasps and the hornets and whatnot, whatever was attacking me, of course. SLD, how many minutes will it take for Mount to get injured? Seems like he's got, for me, it's last chance saloon. It's last chance saloon. And to be honest with you, we can't rely on, we're not a charity. We can't rely on these players anymore, guys. We can't rely on these players anymore. We have to move on from these players. You know what I mean? Because I like Mount, but unfortunately we can't carry players anymore. We're past that. We're way past that now. We're past relying on players and carrying players. Of course, we're not a charity. We're not A&E. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, so we can't carry these players anymore. So we need wing backs and we need players ASAP. You know what I mean? Who can cover those positions? Because you know what? The season's long. The season's long, and to be honest with you, we can't be relying on kids. You know what I'm saying? Shah, what's going on? Don't say that, Shah. That's that is the famous thing, isn't it? Of course, that's the famous. It's like a new signing. The stadium's like a new signing. I mean, we don't want to hear that. We've heard that a lot of times, haven't we, Shah? Leeson, hi, Sal. Love to see Jerky at United. He's a good player, by the way. Not many people have mentioned him. Of course, in France, of course. I like Kirkes as well. Kirkes is not too bad. Should inquire about Kirkes as well, because I think he's a decent player. To be honest with you, if we can acquire about him, that would be great, of course. Specialites, thank you so much. SLD, big up the legends in the chat, of course, guys. Sorry about the crazy show. It is crazy on Stretford Post, guys. I'm crazy. This is crazy. Sometimes it is crazy. That is life at the end of the day. But you know what? Einstein was crazy, wasn't it? At the end of the day, guys, thank you everyone who has joined me today. Nothing but respect. I have to move on because you know what? Otherwise, I'm going to have multiple stings. I think I've been stung on my backside. I don't know what's going on at the moment. But do you know what? Thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Much love to you all, of course. And don't forget to join me. Put your notifications on. Put your notifications on. And you never know when I'm going live. You never know when I'm going live. Of course, Man United play tomorrow against Leicester City. I will be live for the watch-along, guys. Of course, I'll be live for the watch-along, guys. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new and smash a like on the video, guys. I hope you've been entertained. I've been stung multiple times, probably. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Glory, go Man United. It is what it is. We'll see what happens. You know what? But you know what? Just stay grounded. Stay calm. Things will work out themselves. Don't worry about it. I've got a good feeling about Man United. A really good feeling. You know, I got a feeling that tonight's going to be a good night. That tonight's going to be a real good night. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. But, guys, thank you very much. I'm off now. And, guys, I'll try and see you later on, okay? Have a great day. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, you legends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Thank you very much. I'm Sal Warner. Take it easy. Peace.